Now you're probably thinking, why is all of this so important? Well, the thing is, perimenopause is often overlooked and underestimated. But I'm here to break the silence and shed light on those unexpected symptoms that no one talks about. Hi and welcome back. Today we're taking a sneak peek into my life, an African woman living in Nigeria and navigating this hormonal roller coaster called perimenopause. First, let's talk about the severity of my symptoms. My perimenopause symptoms have been severe from the get-go. I thought I was dying. At that time, I wasn't a menopause mentor, and like several other women, I was so looking forward to sometime around my 50th birthday when I could say adieus amiga to my menstrual cycle. But instead, what did I experience? 60 super severe perimenopause symptoms. Let's look at the science behind why my symptoms have been so severe. We already know that each woman's perimenopause and postmenopause experience is unique, right? But one surprising factor that affects how we experience perimenopause and postmenopause is our race and ethnicity. It shocked you, right? An article by Adriana Velez on Health Central dated 2021 says, studies suggest that African women and Latinas may begin perimenopause earlier, experience more intense effects, and have a longer transition period. African women averagely reach menopause at 49, 2 years earlier than the median age. Other data shows Latinas reach menopause 2 years earlier than the median age as well. It also appears that African women spend more time in the menopause transition than other women do. So here we have it. Next, let's talk about support. I had no support for the first 3 years. The doctors all had no idea what was causing all these symptoms, and at a point I was placed on medication for a stomach ulcer for 6 months. I was at the hospital almost every week once the pandemic was over, and I was convinced that I was going to die of some undiagnosed illness. At the end of the day, I didn't have a stomach ulcer. My stress levels were through the roof, and this caused all the abdominal issues I was experiencing. When I suggested that it might be my hormones, I found out that my medical insurance didn't cover hormonal testing and that it was frightfully expensive. Up next is our cuisine. Yummy spicy food, sweet or savory food, starchy foods, swallow, which I indulge in, but in moderation because I'm originally a fruit and veggies kind of girl. This takes my mind back to when I had irritable bowel syndrome and so much bloating. Initially, I thought something I was eating was causing the bloating. So out went my regular meal plan, which had worked for me since forever. And I began to experiment with several starchy foods that hadn't been on the menu for me, and then the weight gain started. The weight gain was traumatic for me. You can just imagine. When it comes to work, being a working woman and an executive who is perimenopausal is challenging, especially when you're one of the oldest women where you work. No one knows or talks about the transition to menopause, and so you're expected to deliver results on the job. No excuses. This doesn't change the fact that on some days you're just barely able to put one foot in front of the other, not thinking straight, extremely forgetful, highly irritable, and so emotional. Now let's talk about the weather. It's so hot in Lagos, aka Lasgidi or Eco City. This makes night sweats and hot flashes even worse. Sunburn is another thing that happens in perimenopause. When estrogen levels drops, our collagen drops, our skin is thinner and drier, and we are more prone to sunburn. I'm like a low-key vampire right now because I avoid the sun by any means possible. I've had some really awful sunburn twice now, and I'm determined that there will be no repeat. Also because the way our body smells changes during perimenopause, the heat makes the smells really frustrating. Let's look into our belief systems. A lot of women I speak to about perimenopause and postmenopause symptoms are of the opinion that it's plain old African magic. Their village people have inflicted some curse on them, or they've stepped on something. One lady shared her experience with me. She had been losing hair and thought that her hairdresser was using dark powers or evil hands to make her go bald. We had a good laugh about that. Social engagement is a big thing here. People are particular about greeting one another. It's almost like a taboo not to smile, greet an acquaintance, ask after their family. But in perimenopause, I don't feel like saying anything to anyone. Some days I don't even want to be seen. So I basically just avoid eye contact. Let's talk about fashion and party after party. Nigerian women are quite fashionable and we like to get all dressed up, especially to church or weddings or parties. Beautiful people. And I used to be one of those people who like to get all dressed up. But these days, comfort is so important. And I just wear my simplest A-line dresses out. Some days I cannot believe that this is me. Where in the world are you watching this video from, and what's your unique experience with perimenopause or postmenopause? Type it out in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Take good care of yourself. Don't forget to be your sister's keeper. I'll see you soon.